Hello everyone, how are you? In this session, we are going to discuss about dimensional analysis. Well, the dimensional analysis is an important subject for the determination of the basics in 12th, and this is also useful for many other scientific researches, applications, everything. So, I believe that this is a basic course for mostly 11th class pupils, but anyway, it's quite useful also for everyone. So, my name is Saktiswarup Chaudhary, and now let's get started. So, let's analyze what is dimensions of physical quantities. Well, the nature of the physical quantities is described by its dimensions. The derived units can be expressed in terms of 7 fundamental or basic quantities. These 7 dimensions of physical world are denoted with bracket. Now, let's talk about the 7 dimensions of the physical quantity. These are starting with the dimensions: mass, time, electric current, thermodynamics, temperature, and luminous intensity, amount of substance. So the dimensions over here is physical dimensions, for example, length, breadth, and height. So it is denoted by L. Then for mass, this is M. For time, this is T. For electric current, this is ampere or A. For thermodynamic temperature, it is K. Why it is known as thermodynamic temperature? Because degree Celsius is not a standard one, or else it can be, if you only talk about temperature, it can be represented in any other units such as Fahrenheit, any other thing, Rankine, etc. But for thermodynamic calculations and other calculations, mostly Kelvin is used. Similarly, luminous intensity is candela. Then amount of substance is in mole. Now let's talk about little deeper. Now the dimensions of the physical quantity are the powers to which the basic quantities are raised to represent that quantity. Example, if you talk about volume of an object, it can be represented length, width, and height. So all these three represents dimensions L. So the dimensions of the total volume of an object will be in the power of cube. So this power cube is the dimensions of the volume. Similarly, for here the mass and time is in the power 0. For example, we talk about dimensions of force, then it will be mass, length by time square. So how we will represent in dimensions of the force? It will be m to the power 1, l to the power 1, and t to the power minus 2. Similarly, for initial velocity, final velocities, speed, average velocity, etc., for all which can be expressed in length per time, it will be definitely length into time inverse. So we have to note here that whatever we denote, if the meaning of the units are same for all the quantities, then the dimension will be also same. For example, kinetic energy, potential energy, work done, these things will have same units. So the dimensions of all these quantities will be same. So now let's talk about dimensional formula and dimensional equations. So the expressions which shows how and which of the basic quantities represents the dimensions is called as dimensional formula. Similarly, when a physical quantity is equated with the dimensional formula, it's called as dimensional equation. So the dimensional formula will be equated with physical quantity, then this is called as dimensional equation. Example, here we write volume like this. velocity like this, force like this, and this density like this. So this will be called as dimensional equation. This total term is known as dimensional equation. This is also dimensional equation. This is also another dimensional equation. This is an also a dimensional equation. Now let's talk about applications. The applications of the dimensional analysis is very vital. For example, if we are checking the dimensional consistency of the equation, if we can also do the we can figure it out what is the relation between two physical quantities. Let's talk about principle of homogeneity, which deals with the magnitude of physical quantity may be added together or subtracted from another only if they have same dimensions. For example, velocity cannot be added to force. So by using this, we go for checking the correctness of a formula. For example, let's take about this equation. In this equation, we are talking about this x. X is nothing but the displacement. This is the initial displacement. This is a velocity, initial velocity. This is time. This is acceleration and multiplied with time square, which is half. This is a very familiar equation in laws of motion. So on the left hand side, we have dimension L. So the entire equation over here must have same dimension. The total dimension when added, it should denote L. It should denote L. So when we go for x0, this is definitely L, which is a displacement, initial displacement. Then we go for velocity into time. Ultimately, it comes L. Similarly, when we talk about acceleration into time square, it also becomes L. But it's the things to note that this term is actually doesn't play any role in the dimensional equation. So we'll talk about it later, but we can say over here this formula over here, which has length, this is also length, this is also length. So this can be added, and this obeys the principle of homogeneity. That means the formula may be correct. If any formula fails this principle of homogeneity, then the formula is certainly incorrect. If it passes the principle of homogeneity, it says that it may be correct, but it is not always true. For example, here instead of half, if I put 3, so this equation is according to the principle of homogeneity, it is correct, but the actual formula is a different one. Therefore, this equation, this sometimes doesn't valid. So we can say in other words, like if the principle of homogeneity is followed in a formula, then it may be correct. If it doesn't follow, then certainly it is not a correct formula. Okay, so now let's talk about applications. Second application. The second application may be deducing relationship among physical quantities. That means if you have one variable, suppose a time period of a pendulum, which I am going to describe, the dependency of the time period t on the length of the pendulum, gravity and mass of the pendulum can be determined with the help of dimensional analysis. Suppose we don't know the formula. We have only this term, we have this term, and any other thing, mass of the mass. We know that all these things are interrelated. They have a dependency, but we don't know what is the dependency. Then the dimensional analysis can help us to determine the dependency. So suppose we add a constant generally over here, and we add all the other parameters. These are the exponents that we use over here to determine the dependencies in the with the order. Suppose we get x equals to 1, then t is directly proportional to L. If we get x equals to -1, then we can say t is inversely proportional to x, like that. So let's analyze how to do this. First, we have to do one thing. We have to write the dimensional equation. Then we know that these things are variables. So we just talk about these variables. We just put it over here like this, and ultimately we will get the dimensional quantities like this. According to principle of homogeneity, this should be equal to this. Therefore, this should be equal. So z equals to 0, x plus y should be 0, and minus 2y should be 1. So if we get the equations like this, then by solving it, we can directly get the values of x, y, and z. So ultimately, we found the relation T between L and G. So did you figure it out? Like this seems a little bit familiar. Well, this k value over here, if we put 2 pi, then it resembles to the exact value of time period what we determine in the mechanics. So, but the question is, this dimensional analysis will give only the relationship between the physical parameters. It doesn't give the value of the constant over here. These constants, however, can be determined by proper boundary conditions. So this is the shortest and quick way of seeing the dimensional analysis. I hope you will find it useful. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.